Hello, comic community. Joe here with 360 Comics. Today we're talking about yard sales. And honestly, most yard sales you go to and you ask if they have comics, they shake their head. They say no. But even when they do, it's usually low grade, high print run 90s stuff that's not worth a dime. But every once in a while, you can get some good books out of a yard sale. I've got a story for you today about a haul from a yard sale that actually turned out to be pretty good. Don't forget, as part of our 1,200 subscriber giveaway, we're going to be handing out this Alpha Flight #1 to a lucky winner. All you have to do to enter is subscribe to the channel and give this video a thumbs up for a like and leave a comment down below. You can also go check out all of our other videos that have come out since Christmas. All of those videos are eligible, as well as future videos up until we hit the 1,200 subscriber mark. And don't forget to follow us over on Instagram as well, and stay tuned for our weekly claim sales and 6,000 follower giveaway. So the story of this yard sale haul goes as such. A couple years ago, a buddy of mine went to a yard sale and saw a box of comics and made an offer and ended up negotiating down to just $10 for the entire box of about 60 or 70 comics. And, obviously that's a great price. The person just wanted to get rid of them. The buddy of mine, he was thinking about getting into comics, maybe reading them, seeing if he liked any of the stories or the characters. Well, long story short, life got in the way. He didn't have time to do any of that stuff, and these have just been sitting at his place collecting dust for a few years. He just wanted to get rid of them. He just wanted his $10 back that he had spent. So I agreed to buy the box blind for $10. He knew that I'm into comics, so he messaged me and let me know what he had. This is why you got to let people know that you're into comics, because when someone comes across something or wants to get rid of something, you're the person that they go to, and you want to be there to find some good stuff. And there's some pretty good stuff in here. So yeah, let's get started. I pulled out the 20 best books to kind of go through and talk about. And of course, I'm saving the best for last. We'll kick it off right here with Nova number 25. And the significance of this book is it's the last book in the Nova run. During the end of runs, usually the print run gets smaller just because of less orders. And that's why the book is eventually canceled. So these books end up being a little bit more rare. Not that this book is super rare or expensive or anything, but just a little bit harder to find than the books in the earlier part of the run. In my opinion, it's got a really, really awesome Bronze Age cover. And, of course, there's some speculation on Nova for the MCU. I definitely think it's a character that they should incorporate, and definitely could be very well done. I'm probably going to hold on to this one, even though it's kind of a lower grade reader copy. Next up, we've got The Fury of Firestorm, The Nuclear Man #1. This is from, I believe, volume 2 of Firestorm. I believe he had his 70s or maybe even started in the late 60s. I'm not sure, but I think it was late 70s. Started his solo run, had his first appearance. This is volume 2 when they rebooted him in the 80s. Awesome cover, blue background, makes him pop out really nicely. And just a nice #1 from DC to pick up. These next two books got me excited because my dad read Metal Men as a kid. In fact, this volume of Metal Men, this is the first volume, volume 1, started in 1963, and he was a kid during the 60s. These are from the 70s, the ones that I picked up in this collection, but it's still part of that same run. Issues number 53, and we got 54. Now, my dad recently asked me, hey, if you come across any Metal Men comics, let me know. I'd be interested in reading them, the stories from my childhood, or maybe some expanded stories that I've never read before. So I was on the lookout for these, and they came in just in time. So I'm going to send these over to him and let him take a read at some classic books. Next up, we got Firestar #1, and I looked at this, I was like, oh, cool, I like Teen Titans. And then I looked at the cover, and I was like, that doesn't look like Firestar. And did a little research. It's not the same Firestar as from Teen Titans. This is Firestar, who is an alien freedom fighter. I don't know anything about this character, apparently. This is the first book of her run, as well as her first appearance, but she did not stick around for very long, and eventually they reused the name Firestar during, as a character in Teen Titans. I don't think there's really any speculation or, long-term value of this character, but just a cool DC #1 from the Bronze Age. Next up is a book called Robotics, and I feel like I had heard this name before, but I couldn't really place it, and I looked at it and I was like, man, this looks like a Transformers ripoff. And did a little research. Apparently, it's actually a Transformers spin-off. I was not aware of that. I'm a little too young for the Transformers era. I was born in 1990, so Transformers missed me by a little bit. They were kind of more early to mid 80s. This book came out in 1985 as a spin-off to Transformers, and there was a whole toy line with it and everything, just like Transformers, but I don't think it caught on nearly as well as the Transformers name. Now, speaking of Transformers, there was one Transformers book in here, issue number 9, the first appearance of Circuit Breaker, and she's got a cover appearance as well. Pretty awesome book, and this one is actually in nice shape. I was really happy to see that, because most of these books are red, very obviously red, especially as you get older. So yeah, this one, just a great little Transformers key issue to pick up, early part of the run from the 1980s. These next two I was pretty stoked on because I have been loving diving into Bronze Age horror stuff. We've got Forbidden Tales of the Dark Mansion #6. Oh, sorry, of Dark Mansion, not the Dark Mansion. I added a word. And also #7. These ones I'm probably going to keep in my personal collection just because I do really like horror stuff, especially Bronze Age horror, DC and Marvel. So I'll check these out. If I like them, they'll stay in the PC. If not, I will have them at a claim sale. Next up is the oldest book that I found in this collection. It is Justice League #22. I think this is one of the books in the Crisis run. I think it was just a 2-part run, the original Crisis run from the 1960s. It's a 12-center, nice old Silver Age Justice League book. It is in terrible condition. It is low grade, probably like a 2.0, 2.5. Luckily, it's complete. It's all intact. Nothing is falling out. Centerfold and cover both attached nicely. Staples aren't rusty or anything like that, so it's not the lowest of the low, but it's definitely a low-grade reader copy of this book. This one, I'm sure, won't be hard to find a home for. Next up, we got some Marvel Age books. We got #1. This was the premier Marvel Age book. I did a little research. They ran from the mid-80s all the way until 1994, and they did a lot of previews and interviews and things like that. This one doesn't have any specific special preview, but it is the first book of the Marvel Age run. Now, this next one was a preview for the Alpha Flight solo run, and not only that, but this was the first time the entire Alpha Flight team was featured on the cover of a comic book. Very cool little key significance here. They had their first appearance in X-Men, and they're in a bunch of X-Men books, but they're never shown in full. Every member of the team on the cover. Here we get that for the first time, even before their debut of their solo book, Alpha Flight #1, which, a reminder, is my giveaway book. Pretty great stuff. I've been definitely getting more and more into Alpha Flight. Just as a spin-off of the X-Men, they're great. An awesome Canadian team, and definitely one that I could see eventually coming to the MCU. The last of the Marvel Age books before we move on to some pretty cool older stuff. We got Marvel Age 33, and this is the first preview of XFactor. Not only that, but they took the cover of Giant Size X-Men 1 and they homaged it here with the XFactor guys popping out of the cover, and the new X-Men team that was introduced in Giant Size X-Men 1 in the background. So a little role reversal there. Pretty cool stuff. I found this one a couple times, and I noticed something. This is not listed on Key Collector, despite it being the first preview of XFactor. Not a huge key, obviously, but they are missing that one. Someone's got to tell them. Maybe I'll send them an email. All right, I'm going to move these down here for a second, and we're going to go on to a Golden Age book, a Classics Illustrated version of Jules Verne's Master of the World. These books, the Classics Illustrated, some of them are very expensive. Most of them are kind of like $10 to $15 books. Nothing special. This is a really nice first printing of this issue, but it's low grade. It actually has some pen. There's a crossword puzzle on the back, and someone decided to fill out that crossword puzzle. All good. Low grade copy. Nice to have, though. Cool comic interpretation of a classic novel. Next up, we got Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, and it's not just issue 1, it's issue 1 through 3, the complete mini-series. 3's in there as well. Got a nice thick bag for this one. I found this a couple times recently, and typically the whole set sells for like between $10 and $20 depending on condition. This one's got some spine ticks and stuff on it, so I'm probably going to have this available on the cheap for $10 at one of my next claim sales. If you're an Indiana Jones fan, cool little reader to pick up. Temple of Doom. Next up, I was excited to see this. A pretty underloved character, Richard Dragon Kung Fu Fighter, Bronze Age martial artist from DC. Kind of, in my opinion, mirrors Shang-Chi a little bit. Obviously, Shang-Chi has grown exponentially in popularity recently. Richard Dragon, not so much, but hey, cool first appearance of this character who has been around in DC for a long time. More importantly is the next book, and if you know anything about this run, this is the book that you look out for in this Richard Dragon run. It's issue number 5, and it's the first appearance of Lady Shiva. Now, not only is this the first appearance of Lady Shiva, she's got a great cover appearance. She was originally in this I almost said Shang-Chi, Richard Dragon run, but she was eventually taken from that and put into Batman. And she is a reoccurring character in the Batman storyline. And in fact, she has a daughter eventually who becomes one of the Batgirls, Cassandra Cain. And yeah, great character who was utilized even more than the title character in this story. And it's a great first appearance with an awesome cover. Love to see that. It's worth a little bit more than most of these books, so I was happy to find that. And with all the Star Wars hype right now, I was stoked to find some of these. They're reader copies, lower grade, nothing crazy, mid-grade, I would say, not really low grade, but they've got some spine ticks. We got Star Wars number 6 first off. That is the last book of the New Hope storyline. So Star Wars, the comic, came out right around the same time A New Hope came out in 1977, and the first 6 issues were basically a retelling of the movie. After that, they did expanded stories. So they did non-canon stuff that some of it has been made canon, and we're seeing more and more Star Wars comic lore become canon nowadays with things coming out like Mandalorian, Book of Boba, all that stuff. So, good stuff to be on the lookout for. This one features an awesome cover with Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader in a lightsaber duel. We also had a couple more issues of this Star Wars. This was beyond that 6-issue arc. We had number 9. This is the first appearance of the Cloud Riders. They appeared in the movie Solo, which was the Han Solo movie, origin story of Han Solo. And, we get Han on the front here, and kind of hard to see, but the Cloud Riders are also there. Not a major key or anything like that, but still a good book to pick up. This next one got me real stoked, though. We've got Star Wars 41. Awesome Millennium Falcon cover, but even better than that, the first cameo appearance of Yoda, the Jedi Master, who trains Luke to become what he becomes. Now, this is a great book. Unfortunately, it's got some serious spine ticks on it. Lower side of mid-grade for sure, but nonetheless, first cameo of Yoda. I haven't decided what I'm doing with this yet. Star Wars hype is big right now, so I might pass this on to someone who really, really wants it, but at the same time, I'm tempted to keep it in my personal collection. And I've got one more book to show you guys, the one that I was the most stoked about in this collection. We've got Amazing Spider-Man 110. Not only is this the first appearance of Gibbon, a minor Spider-Man villain, not really super important by any means, but this is the last book that Stan Lee wrote on the Amazing Spider-Man run. He started obviously with Amazing Fantasy 15 and issue 1 of the Amazing Spider-Man and did the whole run. I believe he was the writer the entire time. I don't think he took any issues off, but he ended his run here at number 110, the last Stan Lee book. Early Bronze Age 20 center. It's got some love. It's been read plenty of times, but this one is definitely staying in my personal collection as I'm filling out a Amazing Spider-Man run, really targeting especially the Stan Lee books. So really stoked about this one. Personal collection, like I said. Overall, this is worth well more than the $10 that I spent. In fact, I'm going to go hit up my buddy and see if he wants me to buy him lunch for, handing over these comics. And, I tried to give him more than $10 when I saw what stuff was in there, but he refused. He said, nah, man, you use it for your channel. So, yeah, buy him lunch sometime. Anyway, let me know in the comments below how you think I did. Tell me a story about how, something you found at a yard sale, because there are some good yard sale finds out there. Hopefully you found them or you're going to get to them eventually. Yeah, at that, I will leave you guys. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and give us a thumbs up for a like. Check out our other videos, follow on Instagram, all that stuff. And until next time, turn the page, wash your hands.